Hello friends, in this video I am going to discuss Food Safety and Standards Authority of India, in short FSSAI, that is FSSAI. FSSAI is an act enacted in 2006 with the purpose to consolidate the laws related to food and to establish the Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. 4. Laying down science-based standards for articles of food and to regulate their manufacture, storage, distribution, sale and import to ensure availability of safe and wholesome food for human consumption and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So, now let us check structure and composition of Act. This Act has different regulating and executing bodies, namely Food Safety and Standards Authority of India. It consists of a chairperson and 22 members, out of which 1/3 shall be women. Next, Selection Committee. The central government shall, for the purpose of selection of the chairperson and the members other than ex officio members of the Food Authority, constitute a selection committee. Next, officers and other employees of Food Authority. There shall be a chief executive officer of the Food Authority, not below the rank of additional secretary to the Government of India, who shall be the member secretary of the authority, to be appointed by the central government. Next, Central Advisory Committee. The Central Advisory Committee shall consist of 2 members, each to represent the interests of food industry, agriculture, consumers, relevant research bodies, and food laboratories, and all commissioners of food safety, and the chairperson of the scientific committee shall be ex officio member. Next, scientific panels. The Food Authority shall establish scientific panels, which shall consist of independent scientific experts. Last but not the least, Scientific Committee. The Food Authority shall constitute scientific committee, which shall consist of the chairpersons of the scientific panels and 6 independent scientific experts, not belonging or affiliated to any of the scientific panels. The scientific committee shall be responsible for providing the scientific opinions to the Food Authority and shall have the powers, where necessary, of organizing public hearings. Now, the next point is duties and functions of Food Authority. It shall be the duty of the Food Authority to regulate and monitor the manufacture, processing, distribution, sale, and import of food, so as to ensure safe and wholesome food. Next, it shall provide scientific advice and technical support to the central government and the state governments in matters of framing the policy and rules in areas which have a direct or indirect bearing on food safety and nutrition. Last but not the least, the Food Authority may from time to time give such directions on matters relating to food safety and standards on the Commissioner of Food Safety, who shall be bound by such directions while exercising his powers under this Act. Besides, there are many duties and functions of Food Authority. These are the important ones that we have discussed on the slide. Next, who is responsible for the enforcement of this Act? The Food Authority and the state food safety authorities shall be responsible for the enforcement of this Act. The Food Authority and the state food safety authorities shall monitor and verify that the relevant requirements of law are fulfilled by food business operators at all stages of food business. The authorities shall maintain a system of control and other activities as appropriate to the circumstances, including public communication and food safety and risk, food safety, surveillance, and other monitoring activities covering all stages of food business. The food safety officers shall enforce and execute within their area the provisions of this Act with respect to which the duty is not imposed expressly or by necessary implication on some other authority. Now, the next question is, what is penalty if someone caught in food adulteration? Any person who sells to the purchasers prejudice any food which is not in compliance with the provisions of this Act, or the regulation made thereunder, or of the nature or substance or quality demanded by the purchaser, shall be liable to a penalty not exceeding 5 lakh rupees. Next, any person who, whether by himself or by any other person, on his behalf manufactures for sale or stores or sells or distributes or imports any article of food for human consumption which is substandard, shall be liable to a penalty which may extend to 5 lakh rupees. Next, any person who, whether by himself or by any other person on his behalf, manufactures or sells or stores or sells or distributes or imports any article of food for human consumption which is misbranded, shall be liable to a penalty which may extend to 3 lakh rupees. Next, any person who publishes or is a party to the publication of an advertisement which falsely describes any food, or is likely to mislead as to the nature or substance or quality of any food, or gives false guarantee, shall be liable to a penalty which may extend to 10 lakh rupees. Next, any person who, whether by himself or by any other person on his behalf, manufactures or processes any article of food for human consumption under unhygienic or unsanitary conditions, shall be liable to a penalty which may extend to 1 lakh rupees. Next, if a person without the permission of the food safety officer retains, removes, or tampers with any food, vehicle, equipment, package, or labeling, or advertising material, or other thing that has been seized under this Act, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, and also with the fine which may extend to 2 lakh rupees. Next, if a person without reasonable excuse resists, obstructs, or attempts to obstruct, impersonate, threaten, intimidate, or assault a food safety officer in exercising his functions under this Act, he shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 3 months, and also with fine which may extend to 1 lakh rupees. If any person or food business operator, himself or by any person on his behalf, who is required to obtain license, manufactures, sells, stores, or distributes or imports any article of food without license, shall be punishable with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 6 months, and also with a fine which may extend to 5 lakh rupees. Last but not the least, if an offense under this act is committed by a company, every person who at the time the offense was committed was in charge of and was responsible to the company for the conduct of the business of the company, as well as the company, shall be deemed to be guilty of the offense and shall be liable to be proceeded against and punished accordingly. So, this is all about the FSSAI.